Welcome to the Grand Wall Forest. If you enjoy soft filtered light and enchanted vibes, this is the place for you. Today we're going to be looking at a problem called mantra. This climb is quite special to me as it was featured in one of the very first Squamish bouldering videos I watched before making the decision to move here. At the time, I couldn't fathom climbing this grade, but I sheepishly wrote it down on my list of things to maybe try one day. And well, that day finally came. I had 2 sessions on this boulder. One brief visit in sub-zero temps where I felt out the moves, and then the session we'll be joining in on today. This boulder starts on a wonderful jug and a solid left foot smear, leading into a few enjoyable intro moves. Depending on your height and style, there are a number of ways to get started, but ultimately this boulder comes down to a large dead point move at mid-height and a compression-based exit on slopers. I opted for 2 larger intro moves to keep things simple and quickly set up for the dead point crux. I absolutely loved the subtle toe hook beta that allows you to precisely set up your right toe on what I'll call the launchpad chip. My initial tries on the dead point felt very promising, but it also seemed like a move I'd need to put some attempts into to learn the minutiae. After some more tries and deliberation, it was pretty clear I was struggling with 2 important aspects of this move. The first, hitting the far sloper accurately. You need to generate just the right amount of power to get around the lip and into a small, slopey divot. Without this better section of the sloper, I found the end position nearly impossible to hold. Even when I got the sweet spot, I ran into a second challenge, generating enough compression with my chest to hold the final position. I think I had quite a few attempts where the dead point had the right amount of power, but the timing or rate of force development in my chest was too slow, and I simply slid off the slimy slopers. Just kidding, the conditions were perfect. The final moves to top the boulder, while not looking particularly easy, did seem like they'd suit me. I didn't practice them, but I planned on placing a high right heel in order to take over for my right arm in generating compression, and then bump my now free to move right hand to the top lip. After a few more attempts at the dead point, I finally pulled everything I'd learned together and found myself locked in place, legs dangling below a tightly engaged upper body. I threw up my foot confidently, but failed to lock in the heel and ended up back on the mats. I immediately knew I just needed to engage my core a little bit longer to better control the heel placement and lock it in. After a brief pause to brush and rest, I hopped back on feeling confident and ready to try hard.
Come on. Come on.
Topping this one out felt pretty sweet. This whole process flew by, and as is typical for devious Squamish sloper problems, the send go didn't actually feel that hard per se, even though the problem took some proper effort and brain power to get done. After a great night out with friends, we all headed home, willing our skin to grow back for another night of fun. Thanks for watching, and for those who are local or visiting in the near future, hope to see you out in the forest. Until next time, thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel to support my long-term goal of using YouTube to generate money for local climbing societies and search and rescue organizations.